I'd like us to do the following. Let's take a little bit of a deeper dive. We're going to start with our existing dashboard in this next segment. We're going to save it with a different title so we can go back to our beginning dashboard if we want to. We're going to change the theme and the colors ever so briefly. We're going to add a table and allow for data download. We're going to add some features, some fields to that table. We're going to enable advanced formatting, and then we're going to be able to sort these. Oh, this is going to be great. So a deeper dive in this next segment. Let's get started. Okay, let's save as and call it perhaps a deeper dive so we can distinguish this dashboard from our original dashboard. That way we can come back to our original dashboard. And now let's go ahead and a little bit of, I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this workshop tweaking the settings. Know that it's not Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop. You don't have tons of choices, but you have a decent number of choices here where you can change the backgrounds and the borders and the text color and things like that. So again, the power of a dashboard is in the mapping and the interactivity and the interrelationships between the data and the data feeds and what's being displayed. So again, you don't have infinite choices here, but I'm going to adjust things showing you that, okay, I've made some changes and I'm going to go ahead and save this now. Some of the tools in ArcGIS Online are autosave and some are not autosave. The dashboards have a little dot save button, so that's later that you need to save it again. Now let's go ahead and add a table. I'm going to go to features here and add some fields. I want the diameter of breast height, the address, the borough, the health of the tree, and the postcode. So we're going to do that here. Address, borough, health, and postcode. So it's just a matter of picking the fields from this list. I want to know where these trees are, and so that's why I'm focusing on the location. Okay, note the postcode. It's showing up as a text string. So 11,358 is actually zip code 11358. If we go to values and say advanced formatting enable, notice the postcodes just from saying advanced formatting are now formatted correctly. There's additional things we could do inside the Arcade scripting language to make sure that that's recognized as text and not number. Let's click on Source Data Download. I want my users to be able to download right from my dashboard. That is wonderful. Now, notice at the bottom of the table, you have a down arrow to be able to download that data. Wonderful to be able to do this. Our dashboard. To summarize that segment, we started with an existing dashboard. We went to Save As. We named it appropriately. We experimented with changing the themes and the colors. We then added a table, and we also allowed that table to be downloaded. We added an element. We added some fields. We noted the postcode changes, and we allowed others to download that data from our dashboard. So that's what we've done in that segment. Let's dig a little deeper now. Okay, let's dig a little deeper, and let's do this. Let's have a deeper dive, and here, let's go ahead and do the following. Allow user filters. Ooh. Let's also do some table and map interaction. Okay. Let's also be able to dig a little deeper into interacting with the map and the table, and then sort the table on the tree height, or actually the tree diameter breast height, so the width of the tree. All right, let's do that in this next segment. Very good. We're digging deeper, but just in increments. We're going to add the ability to user filters. So in the header, what do we do here? We want to say, okay, I want the header to be New York City trees. Nothing too fancy there, but a header is nice. We can also do things to the header, as we'll see in a bit. Now we've got a header there. Look, we can add a selector in the header. The selector will allow the user to do something to the map and the data by selecting something. Okay, I'm going to give it grouped values here. We're going to adjust this later on so that we'll have even more power, but we're just going to take the defaults, grouped value, and we're going to give it health. Okay, and let's go ahead and give it the selector. Let's go ahead and say, what do we want here? We want the category to be, what's the label? Choose tree health. That makes sense. Let's use that. Choose tree health. And let's say inline, so it's going to be horizontally displayed in there. Fair, good, poor. The order is not ideal. Fix it later on. We'll dig a little deeper and fix it later on. I also like the none option. You know, if you no selection, good. I think for the label, no selection. Okay. That's going to be in our header of our dashboard. Wonderful. And we're going to filter the table and the map. Okay, what does that give us? Notice we've got a header now with the ability to select things in it. Okay, we can click on, of course, the attributes in there. And we can also click in the table. Ooh, the fair trees. Look, our selector is working. I only see the fair trees when I select fair. What about good? Ooh, look at the map. It changed. So that's working. And the poor condition, the trees in poor condition. Wonderful. So that's working quite well. What more can we do here? There's more we can do here, folks. Good thing to test these things after you configure them to make sure it can properly is that the map is not zooming and panning. It's panning, but it's not at the scale I want. I want maybe a larger scale. So maybe I want those trees to flash when I select them. How do we do that? First of all, I'm just going to test to make sure these are working. As I look at the attributes, it's truly, that one should be in fair condition because I've got the fair selected, so that's great. It's all working good. What about a tree that's in good condition? Looking at the attributes, that's all looking fine. But notice as I select on the map to Staten Island, and the map did not pan over to Staten Island. So I'm going to set the point zoom scale here and do some other things that we can. I'm going to set it to 5,000. Now if I click on Staten Island, it's not panning over. Okay. Interesting. So how do I adjust that so the map is actually panning over to Staten Island? Okay. That is entirely doable within, there's my tree, but I'm not panning like I want it to. So let's go back to those settings in a bit and adjust those. Okay, pan. Yeah, let's select pan. Okay, that's good. That'll pan us over at the scale. Let's go. So select a tree in Brooklyn. There's my Queens. Pans over to Queens, Staten Island. Yay! Okay, great. That is exactly what I wanted to happen. All right, at the scale that I wanted it to happen at too. So that's good. All right, I'm liking that. Let's save that just in case anything happened with our web connection, right? It's a good idea to save often. Let's go ahead and configure. And what do we want to configure? Let's go ahead and configure that table. What additional things can we do here that will allow us to dig deeper? Okay, let's change some of the fields. Let's sort by, tree at diameter breast height, because I'm really interested in these large trees. Now, notice I've got the trees sorted in my table. Wonderful, and I can click down. That's the third largest tree right there. Let's see if I can figure out what it looks like on the ground. Hey, there's Google Street View. And if I type in this address into Google Maps and then turn on Street View, I should be able to find that tree in Queens. Look at that. There it is, right there. That's the address. That is that big tree in Queens. Let's pan around and see what the neighborhood looks like. There it is again. Ah, wonderful.